Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Triple M here, and today we're taking a look at the Meshforce whole home mesh Wi-Fi system. Now, I have done some reviews for Meshforce in the past, and their product really worked well and held up over the test of time. So definitely wanted to check out this new system and see how it works. So a little bit about this. This covers up to 6,000 square feet. This is a tri-band mesh system, AC2100. But the tri-band will have two 5 gigahertz network and one 2.4 gigahertz. So some of the hardware specs: 1 gigabit WAN/LAN ports, 2 gigabit LAN ports, 4 internal antennas. The input is 100 to 240 volts, and it does have LEDs on it. The wireless specs is the IEEE 802.11 ABGYN and AC. So this is Wi-Fi 5, guys, not Wi-Fi 6, so keep that in mind. Here are the speeds of the specific networks. The 2.4 gigahertz give you speeds up to 300 megabits per second, and the 2.5 gigahertz network will give you speeds up to 867 megabits per second. Software, we have PPoE, dynamic IP address, static IP address, bridge mode. We do have an app that we'll be checking out as well. You can forward ports on this one as well. Parental controls, guest network, and smart quality of service. Let's go ahead, get it out of the box, get it set up, and see how well this performs. And definitely get an A for presentation. Looks pretty good. So in the box, we have some paperwork to register your product. This could help with warranty, especially if you have issues with the system. Here's the quick start guide. And this is going to tell you everything you need to know about not only download the app, but how to use it, how to set up your device. So definitely worth a read. These are going to be the power bricks. Let's go ahead and unwrap one of them. So standard DC jack, it looks like. Next, we're going to have our mesh nodes. Let's go ahead and get them out. So let's get the nodes out of the plastic. First thing I noticed is that these are extremely light, which not sure if that helps or hurts the performance, but these are really light and pretty easy to move around. So just looking at one of them, it does have the Meshforce logo in the front LED, and it's a cylindrical design. So on the top you have a shiny finish, it looks like. Almost looks like a coaster, so not sure if that's why it was made that way. And on the bottom, of course, we have a lot of ventilation around the edge. So if you look further in, you're going to have a LAN port 1, LAN port 2. You have the WAN/LAN port here, and you do have your power. Now next to that, you have a reset button. Self-explanatory, is going to reset your device. But further down, it gives you a lot of information. It gives you the SSID, or the name of your system, gives you the password, gives you the MAC address, as well as a serial number. So 2 LAN ports are going to be for devices you want to plug into your network. The WAN port is going to be for incoming internet. So this one's connected to your router, for instance. This is where you plug that in. And just to give you an idea how I will be using these today, my house is roughly 3,100 square feet. So what I'm going to do is spread them all over, check for coverage, and see what speeds we're getting. So let's go ahead and get it set up and get into the application. All right, so we are going to do a couple speed tests. The first one is going to be on the primary node, which has the Ethernet cable attached. So one's on the first floor, two's on the second floor. So this device is actually the one that's connected, as you see there, to the primary node. And what we're going to do is just test the network speed on 3 nodes and just see if it's evenly distributed. Now, I should let you guys know I am using the T-Mobile whole home internet. Speeds aren't guaranteed, but I find that in most cases I'm getting a little bit over 300 megabits per second on the download and about 17 on the upload. Let's go ahead and do our first test. So 269 on the download and 22 on the upload. So I'm connected again, and you can see I'm on this node right here. So I'm not on the primary anymore. So let's see if we have a speed drop. I'm gonna go to our speed test, and let's go ahead and try it again. All right, so again, not terrible. 213 on the download, 22 on the upload. All right, so third and final test, 212 and about 2020 upload. So we want to start off by making sure our Ethernet and our power is plugged in to the respective ports. Remember, the Ethernet, this is the WAN/LAN port. That's going to go to your router. These additional ports are going to be for additional devices that you can't plug in to have a wire connection. So it is plugged in. If you look closely, you can see there's a green LED light. And how this works is you want to set up your main access point first. So once you got that plugged in, we are going to go to our My Mesh app. Go ahead and launch it. It's going to tell you to connect the Wi-Fi network of a mesh device. So this is where you want to go in, guys. We're going to swipe from the top. We're going to go to our Wi-Fi. You want to find that mesh network. So right now it's saying My Mesh, so let's connect to that. And if you remember, there is the password on the bottom of the router. So let's go ahead and put that in. And now we're going to go back to the My Mesh app. So bringing you directly in the setup. So it's telling you that for the best coverage, spread your devices evenly apart around your house. So click on Setup. The mesh access point is identifying your connection type. So this is something that it will do automatically. Your internet connection type is dynamic IP. We're going to click Next. And now we're just going to give it a name. So choose the Wi-Fi name and password. Do you need to manually add other mesh networks to this kit? For good connection quality, place the mesh point in an open area and keep it within 2 rooms or 10 meters away from each other. So for me, what I always like to do is at least set them up in close proximity. Then I like to spread them out how I see fit. So I'm going to hit Next. After finding the proper location, go ahead and plug it on and wait till LED blinks. So let's go ahead and we'll do the first one. The second access point has been detected, so you can see that green right there, and we'll just wait for the third one to be connected. And you can see that now the third one has been connected. So all 3 mesh networks are online. So what I need to do now is to kind of move them around and see where they best fit in. But before I do, definitely recommend naming these access points. That will make it easier for you when you need to find out or troubleshoot an issue. So let's say I wanted to label the primary. I'll go ahead and click on it. And where it says device location, I can go ahead and I'll just put office. All right. So now it's labeled as office. So I can do the same for the rest of them. So let's do that. So now at a quick glance, I can say, hey, I have one device connected to the guest room node, or I have one device connected to the office node. So that will help you, like I said, identifying or troubleshoot whenever an issue may occur. So if you click on your settings, you have your wireless settings. So if you click on that, you do have the option to change your username and password again. You do have the option for guest network, so you can go ahead and turn that on, and you can give it a unique name. Maybe you want to name it guest or something like that. You have the date and time. So parental controls enable you to specify children's devices such as computers and tablets that can access the internet. So we're going to go ahead and set that up and test it out. So if you go on the parental controls, you can set up a group. So we're going to go ahead and add group. And we're just going to name this one kids. Now you can see I have 2 devices connected that I can use. One is Z Fold 3 and one is unknown. So let's just demo with the Z Fold 3. We're going to hit complete. And now we have a lot of options, guys. So for one, I can pause the network access. So all I need to do that is just hit the pause. And you can see now on my device, network has been disconnected. Let me go ahead and play it. If I click on a specific device, so period is basically time limits or timers that you can put on each device, and that way you can kind of manage when your kids or whoever access this device. Let's say I wanted to add a bedtime period like it has right now, so set it to bedtime. I just leave that there. Starts at 2200, that's 10 o'clock, and it ends at 6. So between 10 and 6 a.m., those devices will not have any network. And for this, of course, you can change the days. You can see I have Saturday, Sunday. I can change the time as well. I can change the name. So if I want to name this homework time, I can just do homework 4 p.m., which will be 1600. It is in military time. 1600 and 2000 hours, which is 8 o'clock. So let's do that. All right. So now we have the homework time. So when they come home, we know that they're doing homework from 4 o'clock to 8 o'clock, and they won't have any internet access. Now you can't add additional time. So right now, let's just say that's bedtime. And you can see we can add as many as we want. So this is a very useful tool. Like I said, now when you look at it, there is limited because you have those restrictions in. And of course, if you hit up top, you can go ahead and delete. You have your internet settings. So right now it is set to DHCP. But you do have some other options: PPPoE, static IP address, or bridge mode. Next, you have your quality of service. So with quality of service, your router prioritizes smooth game and web performance. So if you guys using a specific node for gaming, or if you need a specific computer just to be on point, you can turn on quality of service. You also have the option to add another mesh point, just so not limited to just 3 points, guys. If you have a bigger home, you want to extend it a lot more, you do have the option to add more points. You have your fast roaming. This function allows one mesh network to hand over clients quickly to another. If the operating system of your clients does not support quick handover, you're recommended to disable this option. All right, so I'll leave that off for now. You have a capacity oriented mode. This is turned on. Enable this function when over 30 clients connect to your mesh network. Smart Assistant. With this function enabled, a Smart Assistant connects your device to the 2.4 gigahertz for 30 minutes to help you discover and install devices that only support 2.4. That's pretty cool. Support forwarding for most ISP that allows it, you can go ahead and set it up via this. It does give you a brief description. So if a web server or on an FTP server is set up on a LAN host, user can access through the internet after. So if you guys know what pull forward is, basically opens your home network to the internet. That way you can access it from outside your network. So this is a cool function to have on this mesh. UNPnP, short for universal plug and play. After UNPnP function of the device is enabled, it can automatically enable ports for UMP compliance, such as P2P for gaming software. So up to you. Right now it is enabled. You also have your DHCP server, which you can see primaries right there. You can change it. A lot of people use Google DNS, so completely up to you. You have your WPS. You have an option to do a firmware update, and we'll go ahead and we'll just detect and see if anything's out there. I am on the newest firmware, it looks like. Maintenance schedule. What this means is that just like any other computer, these networks requires a reboot every once in a while just to keep everything fresh and up and running. So you can set which days you want. Right now set to 03 a.m. or 3 o'clock in the morning, and look like it does this every day at 3 o'clock in the morning. So completely up to you. You can pick out which schedule works best for you. So at the bottom, you are going to have account authorization. What that does, guys, is it allows you to add additional people to manage your network. So maybe you want to share this with your spouse or a roommate or whatever the case is. That way they can access the same settings that you have here. So another thing I wanted to go over is another question is going to get asked: can I manage these networks while I'm not at home? So let's go ahead and we'll check that out. So I'm going to swipe down. I'm just going to go ahead and disconnect my Wi-Fi completely. So now I should switch over to 5G, as you can see there in the top. And you can see I still have access to all of my mesh network even when I'm outside the household. So just to recap, this is definitely recommended. Shout out to Meshforce again for sponsoring this video. My house itself is a little bit over 3,000 square feet. I did put 2 nodes on the second floor. That's where most of my traffic is going to be. 1 node on the first floor. And overall, the speeds were really good, guys. Remember, I am with T-Mobile whole home internet. I am getting around 300 megabits per second on the download and 17 or 20, give or take, on the upload. For the most part, those speeds were consistent. Did drop out a little bit when I went downstairs, but it wasn't that bad. As far as the price of these, can get them in a 3 node configuration like I have here. You can get them in a 1 node or a 2. The price of the 3 node is $219. For the 1 node is $89 and $179 for 2 nodes. So keep in mind that you can get additional nodes, so we can add another one if you have a larger house, or you can just buy 2 if your house doesn't need that much coverage. In the comments, drop your thoughts. Let me know what you guys think. That's it for this video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one.